Tonight we'll be having a lot of guests here in the studio, and I have the honor of speaking with our first guest, Dean of Students here at Rowan University, Dean Jones. He's been a strong supporter of the Rowan Television Network and students in general through the years at Rowan. Dean Jones, welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. So, when you were in college, what types of clubs were you involved in?
Clubs? I was a student senator. I was on the allocation committee, and I was also, it's not a club, but I was also a resident advisor on campus at Florida State University when I was an undergraduate. So I was pretty active. And I was also a presidential envoy, which is very similar to our ambassadors here on campus. So, yeah.
Sounds like you were all around campus.
I pretty was. I was a pretty fun guy.
Well, why was it so important for you to be so active?
Well, so I really thought that it was an opportunity for me to get involved in my community and at Florida State University because that was an opportunity for me to get to know other students. Mm-hmm. It was an opportunity for me to get to know faculty and staff, but it also was an opportunity for me to maybe hone some skills that I needed to hone so that when I went into the professional world that I would be able to talk with people and network and just get a different perspective on life. And so I really believe that being involved in clubs and activities on campus, it opens you up to people and things. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was so, active and engaged.
Now, recently, do you feel like any of these specific skills that you've acquired over the years in college, have you been able to utilize them coming to Rowan?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I think that one of the things about being a dean of students is that, you're going to run into students who have a myriad of issues that they're dealing with, from depression to family issues, but they're also going to be dealing with, some wonderful successes that they want to share with you, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that, being involved with those clubs and organizations and being an RA and being an ambassador, it gave me the ability to relate to students and meet them exactly where they are, you know? So it really did open me up. And I didn't know that being involved in those clubs and organizations were, really setting a foundation for me being a dean of students. I wanted to get engaged and I wanted to meet people. Yeah. Now,
what do you feel like some of these issues or struggles that students go through when they're contemplating getting involved in these clubs on campus?
Well, one of the things I think is, first of all, is making a decision about which one to get involved. There's so many. There's about 130 clubs and organizations on our campus, and I think narrowing it down to which one you want to be involved in becomes a task for students, right? Because they're also trying to manage classwork. Mm-hmm. They're trying to manage the new relationships that they're forming on their halls. And so that becomes one more thing that they have to do as they develop skills. And the other thing that I think is that sometimes they are, a little fearful of whether or not they're going to be accepted, whether or not they're going to be welcomed, whether or not if I show up at, this particular club or organization, will people embrace me? Will I feel welcomed? Will I be able to get involved? And will people value me and what I bring to the table? Mm-hmm. So I think all of those things, right, inform the decision when students are trying to choose a club or an organization to become a member of.
Now, are there any specific things that students can do to figure out what the club they want to join could possibly be?
Well, I would say seek out a mentor, mm-hmm. right? Find someone on campus that you relate to, maybe a faculty member, right? And let them know what your interests are, and then let them help you explore what clubs and organizations you may best fit into. Go to Student Government Association. They have a list of all the clubs and organizations right there in their office. Come to the Dean of Students. I'll help you find that club and organization that's right for you. Ask some of your older friends. Mm-hmm. You're going to be, you're going to class with some students and older students in your class. Ask them what clubs and organizations are they involved in. Sometimes you got to take that first step. Mm-hmm. and just ask a question. And once you ask that question, I think you'd be surprised at how much information you'll get and how willing people are on this campus that they're willing to help. So yeah.
I can definitely vouch for that. I remember getting involved with RT and I was a little intimidated by such a large group of people, but everybody is so welcoming, and I was so appreciative to have found like the group of people that I have. So going back to when you were in college, what was the first club you were involved in? Oh,
the first club that I was involved in was our Minority Students Association. And like in maybe 3 months when they had spring elections, they put me on the board of trustees for our Minority Student Association. And from there, it springboarded into being on the Student Allocation Committee, which was a part of the Student Government Association. And then I became a senator. And then I became an RA. And then I became a presidential envoy. So it just blossomed that way, right? So I bet you, right, from your involvement in RTN, right? Everything else just...
Yes.
Right.
Yes, definitely. So many doors opened up and so many experiences. And like you said, skills that I've acquired over the years working with these students. And it's pretty much an awesome opportunity to just be able to learn something for my future endeavors. Like that's one of the things that I appreciate most. So like you said. Now, how did you feel when you heard that RTN was doing this telethon for the 8th year in a row?
Yeah, so first of all, I was ecstatic that they asked me to, come and be on the couch with you. So I was really happy about that. But, I'm not surprised that it's the 8th year in a row, because one of the things that I really admire about our students is their ability to give back to the community, right? This is a wonderful place. It's a caring place. Our students really love service, and I think that was also indicated, last week when we did Back to the Borough, where we had 1,000 students plus show up. So no, I am so not surprised that this is the 8th year, because this is what our students do. This is who we are at Rowan. So no, I wasn't surprised.
Now, as you saw, RTN got very involved, very hands-on involved, working with Habitat for Humanity. They got to build homes and work very closely with the families. Have you ever been involved in any charities along those lines? Actually,
I've been involved in a former life with Habitat for Humanity.
Really?
So when you all asked me, and this was the particular philanthropy, I was once again, I was really excited too, because I have been involved with Habitat for Humanity when I was a little younger, down south. So so I was really excited. So it was really cool.
Now, what were some of the projects you got to work on?
We built ramps for onto homes for families. We actually did construction, painting, cleaning up the house once the construction workers did everything that they needed to do. We would go in and, clean the fixtures up and make it presentable for the families, so, almost everything except for maybe wiring. I'm not really good with.
That's pretty. You have to have those techniques down.
I didn't want to blow anything up or burn anything down. But the easy lifting stuff is the stuff that I did. So
it's pretty awesome to see how our students and faculty have so much in common when it comes to things like this.
Right.
Like, I know that a lot of people have gotten involved, so it's very, very awesome to see.
Yeah.
Well, Dean Jones, I want to thank you again for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course. We've got so much more to come on tonight's program. You won't want to miss any of it. Stay tuned.